Go and open your book to page 39. Today's lesson is to learn about the commutative, associative, and distributive property. So first, let's go and look at the first one, the commutative property. So if you go to page 40, on the top of the page 40, you have the property A plus B equal to B plus A. Now in this book, anything inside the blue box is very important, so you need to really study and know those properties, okay, or in the blue box. So commutative property, now this is addition, that's why it's called the commutative property of addition. Now the commutative property, you can just abbreviate, right? So COMM. Now commutative property means you switch the terms or switch the numbers. Example of that is when you have like a 1 plus 2, this will equal to 2 plus 1. So in other words, addition, you can switch the number and the answer will stay the same. So that's what commutative property is. Again, if you don't remember, think about the word commute, right? So you have same root word, right? So when you commute, when you go from one place to the other, when you move from one place to the other, you're commuting. So think about the word commute. So you're thinking, so you can see that the number got moved. Okay? So commutative properties is when you switch the numbers or the number get moved to a different place. Now commutative property is only for addition and multiplication. So if you look on the bottom of the page, page 40, so this is for addition. Now you also have the multiplication. So you got A times B equal to B times A. Example of that would be like if you have 2 times 3, this is same as 3 times 2, right? Okay, so again, this is a commutative property for multiplication. Okay. Now another property that you need to know is associative property. So if you go to page 41, associative property. So the associative property means you can change the order, not the position now. See over here, the position got switched. But associative property, you have A plus B plus C. This is equal to A plus B plus C. So in other words, you can switch the order. Over here, you add these two first. But over here, you add the last two first. So addition, you can change the order that you're going to add. So for example, let's say if you have 1 plus 2 plus 3, it doesn't matter which order that you add. So you equal to 1 plus 2 plus 3. Okay. So notice commutative property, you change the position. Right? Associative property, you change the order. Over here, you do this first. Over here, you do the last two first. But the position does not change. So you got ABC, you got ABC. Okay. So this is associative property of addition. So this is addition, and this is multiplication. You can do the multiplication too. For example, if you have A times B times C, this is same as A times B times C. So this is a multiplication over here. Okay. So addition and multiplication, you can switch the position, you can switch the order. But subtraction and division cannot. So you cannot do that. So this cannot apply to subtraction and division, okay, because the answer would be different. For example, if you don't believe, you can try, right? So try to switch the order. Let's say if I have 1 minus 2, does it equal to 1 minus 2? Are they equal? 2 minus 1. If you switch the subtraction, the answer stay the same? No, right? The answer become opposite, right? Now, if you try the multiplication and change it into division. Let's say if you have 2, let's say if you have 4 divided by 2. Okay, does it equal to 2 divided by 4? No, because this is equal to 2 and this is 1/2, right? So they're not the same. So you cannot switch. Okay, now another property that you need to know is a distributive property when you have the multiplication. So on page 43, and in that blue box, so you have A times B plus C. So what will this equal to is that I'm going to go down, so go sideways. So you can distribute, so this becomes AB, and you distribute, it becomes plus AC. Okay, so you need to know the distributive property. So again, this is reviewed from your pre-algebra. Okay, and you also can subtract, so A times B minus C. Again, you can distribute, so it'd be AB, distribute, so minus AC. So this is a distributive property. Now let's go over some examples. So let's go to page 45. And let's go and do some of the examples on the homework. So let's try a few odd numbers. So instruction says, determine whether each statement is true or false. If the statement is true, give the reason. So like number 1, 7 plus 5 equal to 5 plus 7. So this is true. And the reason for that is because they switch the position. So this is the commutative property. Okay? And you can use abbreviation, and that's it. Now let's go to number 5. Number 5, 6 minus 2 equal to 2 minus 6. Well, that's false, right? Now, if it's false, there's no property, so that's it. Okay, let's go and do number 9. You got 8 divided by 4 equal to 4 divided by 8. Again, division cannot use those properties, so again, that's false. So if it's false, there will be no property. But if it's true, you have to write down what property it is. Okay. Now, you go to if you go to like number 29, so you got 9 plus 5 plus 6 equal to 9 plus 6 plus 5. So notice it have two things. First, the 5 and 6 got reversed. See over here, this is 5 6, this is 6 5, right? So when when the position got switched, it's commutative property. Okay, so notice you got 5 and 6, this got switched, right? Now next, notice the parentheses. The order got switched also. The parentheses was over here, now you got switched over here. So it also is associative property. So this one use two of them. Okay, so this one use both properties. So sometimes you will use more than one. So you kind of have to look it through the problem to figure out. Okay. Now let's go to page 46. Page 46, you kind of have to actually work it out. So like number 55, you have negative 2 times negative 3 times negative 5 times negative 4. Okay, so all these are multiplication, so you can go and do any order that you want. So for example, I can multiply these two first, and this will give me a 10, and I multiply this, that will give me a 12, right? Again, you can do any order you want because all of them are multiplication, and then after that, when I can multiply this, give me a 120. And you have to watch the sign, right? Negative and negative become positive, right? Negative and negative become positive. And that's your answer. So you can have to apply different properties to get those answers. So let's go and try some practice.